All praises to the Almighty Sublime, most magical creator of all things, the master of the day of judgment. Hallelujah. To my spirit mother, Marihala, much love, gratitude, and respect for guiding us into all truth. Shalom, everyone. Shalom. To all of my sisters and brothers out there, all my spirit sisters and brothers out there, Starseed, and to all of our allies. I send you infinite love and light, and I receive yours. I am the Hebrew Widow, the Hebrew Rose of Jericho, sharing my magic with you, the magic that the Most High bestowed upon me to see signs and wonders and connect the dots. So I have found many magical things upon this earth, in our firmaments, and signs in the news. Yeah, and on this station, I share my downloads. You may resonate with my message and you may not. I'm sharing with you what spirit, all my spirit allies are sharing with me. And right now we're in the time of resignation because we have been lied to on many levels. Many levels. And so now this morning we're going to talk about warnings of judgment. Warnings of judgment. And what happened in Syria and in Turkey was a great warning of things that are to come. Okay? We are in Judgment Day. We have been for 3.5 years. The Most High have led me to many magical signs on this earth pointing to the judgment. Okay? And there's one most holy site I visited on several occasions, where there's a megalith there that is 11 city blocks of the very black Messiah. Yeah. The largest megalith on earth had to do with Judgment Day. You see the fire NATO and the blast coming from his mouth? The signs that I have shown you, I've been led to. I've been imparted knowledge from the 5D concerning these signs and wonders. I've been led to these places and it's been downloaded to me. Some knowledge concerning these things. This is a perfectly carved megalith of judgment that I said was 11 city blocks. It's the largest megalith on earth with a Messiah, a crowned Messiah, black crowned Messiah, with a fire NATO and a blast coming from his mouth. Perfectly carved, unmistakable. This is a sign of judgment that the Most High created on this earth in his plan. He's letting us know there is a Messiah and he's coming for judgment. And then we have his outstretched hand, the left hand of judgment megalith, another large megalith. This is almost 400 feet. And it had the appearance of fire on the grounds, and that fire left. Turkey had a great warning approximately 2 weeks before the earthquake hit. We discussed this sign in another video. You could review it, or if you haven't watched it, you might want to go back and watch that video. They had a great sign that went viral, and that is this red cloud that looks like a red eye. And after that, we had a great judgment to happen on this earth. So if you decide that you just want to ignore it because people's been talking about Judgment Day since you can recall hearing Judgment Day since you were a child, well, we're here now. We're here now. It's unmistakable. We have many signs upon the earth, and if you decide to ignore it and you don't resonate with this message, I suggest that you just go to another video, okay? Because what I'm sharing with you is coming from spirit, and if you're not resonating with this, then it's not for you, okay? Because what I'm saying, it sounds like, wow, she's saying that that was a judgment. Well, it was a judgment. It was a judgment upon this earth. The Most High activated his judgment. It was all in the plan. I showed you the left hand of judgment megalith that he created as a sign for this day.
CBS's MTS Tayeb is their race against time.
Sharika, good evening. Well, nearly a week after the massive earthquake, hundreds of thousands of people are still sleeping in sub-zero temperatures. Hundreds of thousands of people are still sleeping in sub-zero temperatures, including here in Hatay, one of the worst affected areas where anger is only growing. These apocalyptic scenes are as far as the eye can see. These apocalyptic scenes are as far as the eye can see. As we drove through Hatay, we couldn't find a single habitable building. For those whose lives were spared by the massive quake, life is now an unrelenting misery. Life is now an unrelenting misery. Life is now an unrelenting misery, especially for those desperately hoping their loved ones are somehow still alive. My mother and sister are still under the rubble, and I can't reach them, says Didim Jedek. My soul is gone. They're dying under the rubble, and I'm dying here. As aid trickles in, the distribution has been slow and haphazard. For those looking for something warm to wear, donated clothes are left in piles on the street. As aid trickles in, the distribution has been slow and haphazard. For those looking for something warm to wear, donated clothes are left in piles on the street. Food, infant formula, and diapers are available in some areas, but none of it is a substitute for what's been lost. At one of the many makeshift tent cities, we met Nuri Sinikoglu. He now shelters across the street from the apartment building he was raised in, which is now in ruins. Sinikoglu tells us his parents were killed in the quake and that they've only found his mother's remains. How long can you live like this for? Everyone here is leaving, he says. If we find my father, then we will leave too, because there isn't a single building here left to live in. Everyone here is leaving, he says. If we find my father, then we will leave too, because there isn't a single building here left to live in. The mood over the past week has gone from shock to grief to anger. Anger at their government, who they say knew this area was vulnerable to powerful earthquakes, and they say didn't do enough to protect the people. This man is smashing the logo of a prominent construction company. He's one of many who blame shoddy building practices for the near total devastation. Turkish authorities have...
Before we go any further, I just wanted to thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to hit the like. This message needs to get out. People need to recognize the signs. Share this video and comment. Yes, I love your love and light energy coming through. And it also is a measuring tool for me to see if you're getting the message. And subscribe and put on your notification bell, because there is so many signs and wonders that I have been led to. You check my thumbnails on my station and you'll see all kind of magical signs and wonderful ones. And then there are signs of judgment. Yeah, so check out my station. Okay, now I want to just review what we just saw in the last video. We had people that had security, shelter, food, provisions. You know, they were prosperous and they lived in what looks like a metropolis. And then they had the surrounding cities. And they went from being very stable, and then they literally got shaken. All of the stability that they had to survive in this matrix was shaken from underneath them and on top of them. And so there is a reason for that. I looked into the Mediterranean Sea and saw that there are many, many migrants that went through that sea, that Turkey, Syria, Italy, and Greece let die at sea, and some of them were murdered because the Coast Guards that was supposed to save them actually capsized their ships. And one migrant, an African lady, said that they know that they only have a 50-50 chance of survival, but the places that they're migrating from are hopeless areas where they have no stability, so they're searching for a home where they could survive in this matrix. And on their way, there was some awful, horrible atrocities that happened to these people. And through all of the videos that I've seen on the rescue efforts in Turkey and Syria, I've seen not one African. I did not see one melanated African in all of the rescues. I didn't see one. And I know that there were African migrants crossing the Mediterranean. Did they not make it, or were they pushed out of the city without opportunity to live with the same stability as the ones that were already there? What happened to the Africans?
Mediterranean of Libya. Their boat capsized during the perilous journey from North Africa to a better life in Europe. More than 6,000 have been rescued since Monday, 40,000 this year. Seth Doan reports tonight from Rome.
Overcrowded and top-heavy, the wooden fishing boat packed with migrants tipped over, sending hundreds plunging into the sea off the coast of Libya. Some tried to swim. Others appeared to be swallowed up by the boat as it capsized. Rescuers on the Italian Navy patrol vessel Betico. Italian Navy brought the rescued migrants and refugees into port today in Sicily. As the weather improves, thousands more are making this dangerous journey. Amid so much tragedy, there was a very different but still incredible picture. A baby was born on another migrant rescue boat. Aid groups say the number of unaccompanied minors making the journey to Europe is on the rise this year, and the International Organization of Migration says 1,370 migrants have died making that crossing in the Mediterranean. Charlie?
Because the migrants face an uncertain fate. In fact, in the first 6 months of this year, some 900 migrants, that's men, women, and children, have been killed at sea.
Survivors are clear about what they were escaping.
Si l'Union européenne pense que la Libye prenne des migrants pour aller les mettre dans des centres de détention, c'est pas vrai. Il n'y a pas de centres de détention, c'est des prisons.
A few days earlier, SOS Méditerranée's teams arrived too late after a rubber boat capsized during a storm. For hours, to no avail, the Ocean Viking had sought assistance from the relevant authorities. Around 130 people died that day.
I really hope that this shipwreck will change something.
Judgment Day is here. And with judgment comes justice. There was a balancing of the scales in Turkey and Syria. And though the people are angry with their government officials, they're not angry for the right reason. The reason to be angry is that your leaders allowed these atrocities to happen in the most vulnerable, the most frightful, horrifying place on earth, in the middle of the sea. And these atrocities happened 1,000 times over. And it happened on the night before the earthquake. And I told you guys of a vision I had of Poseidon. Yes, Poseidon is a real entity. He is a god. So is Christ, the God of this earth, and the Most High Creator of all things is the God of the universe. These two gods here are in the heavenly hosts, doling out judgment. And they're about to shake, rattle, and roll all over the world for the same thing. The Most High balanced the scales, because now the ones that refuse to open their door to help a fellow human being without a soul, without a heart, without compassion, but was indifferent to people out in the sea, knowing that they were dying. I'm talking about the leaders and the UN. Every world leader is responsible for that earthquake. And you will be responsible for the judgments that are coming upon this earth. The scales will be balanced. Poseidon is called the earth shaker. And I saw him witness that last boat before the earthquake hit in a vision. And he's called the earth shaker, and he reigns over the waters, and he shook Turkey and Syria down. This was a judgment, whether you want to believe it or not. Judgment Day is here. We are at the end of days. You make up your mind and repent, or you will perish. All narcissists shall perish, whether they're Hebrew Israelites or not. All low vibers will perish. We're running out of time. On many videos I showed where the Sahara Sands was the Most High's time clock. The Sahara Sands have been blowing off the continent of Africa ever since they were put there. And it has been a time clock for the Most High. Now we're at the bottom of the sands where all of these wonders are appearing. And it's ushering in judgment. And so, very shortly, there will be 3 days of darkness. The Most High said that he was going to gather his star seed from the four corners of the earth on a dark and cloudy day. And those days are up on us now. So in your life, you need to look at your own life. Look at what's in your scales. Do you have a bunch of narcissistic behaviors, selfishness, tied to this matrix, caring for nobody else, indifferent from everybody's problems and situations but your own? You're only concerned about gaining the wealth and the dreams of this matrix. Because life is but a dream. We are in a matrix. We are in Earth School, and graduation is about to take place, and many will not make it. When the 3 days of darkness comes, Hebrew Israelites from the 12 tribes of Jacob will be taken out of here. And once we are taken out, once our energy is taken off of this earth, then these kind of judgments are going to go all over the earth. And the only way to survive it is by bringing your vibrations high and repenting. Because karma is being served up right now. If you saw the parallels between our new victims of immigration and the ones that have been trying to get through their borders, being murdered at sea. Do you see the parallels? It's no time to play. This is a very hard message because it is a message of judgment and destruction that's going to come upon this earth. Okay. Okay, you guys, thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 because we're going to be dealing with the UFOs on that video. If you're a follower of my station, you know that I found the docking station for Earth for UFOs that are from within hollow inner Earth and from the other dimensions. Yes, they've always been here. So we're going to talk about that on part 2. So stay tuned. I'll be posting that shortly. Again, thank you so much for watching. The Hebrew Widow, the Hebrew Rose of Jericho. Out. Shalom. Until the next magical show.